Good afternoon, everybody. It's RT here in the Hero Lab studio to talk to you about what could possibly be the biggest project of the year. Yes, I'm talking about BitClout. Now, you may have heard about this. It sounds a little cheesy, like BitClout. What is it? What does it do? Why is everyone so excited about it? And why does nobody really know what the hell's going on with it? Where has it been? How have they managed to stay almost entirely off of Reddit, off of Google, off of Twitter until their stealth launch last week, despite raising over $100 million, which we're going to look at in the Bitcoin wallet that's been collecting over the last little while? Who's got the clout to pull this off? And are they going to have the clout to really push this thing to the next level? That's what we're going to get into today in depth. Stay tuned. All right, if you've been on the Twitter universe this week, you've probably seen this big red timer somewhere. Now, this is a password-protected link. It's not mine to share, so I will simply share a whole bunch of links with my research today in the description. Everything I talk about today should be down there. And if you want to dig in further yourself, there is a community Telegram that was started up by the community, as you can imagine. And there's lots of things floating around in there, I believe, including the password link, but I will not share it here myself, because again, it's not mine to share. However, if you do click that link, you will come to this page, which thankfully announces that they will be back. After launching last Friday, within 1 or 2 hours, there was so much traffic on the website, so much bog down on the network that they had to shut it down. They had to pause it. They had to go back to stealth. And that is an interesting thing given how private and how quiet this has generally been. For them to just hit the ground like that and be overwhelmed with users. Remember, the number one thing with a lot of blockchain projects is users. They need network value. They need people to want to use it. And so the fact that these guys came out and basically crashed the network within the first hour, of course, a skeptic might say, well, the network wasn't very good. But generally speaking, I've been on there before and since, and it's been very fast, very effective. And that launch, I mean, it was hot and it was insane. And I was kind of staring at it going, oh my God, things are moving so fast. So it's going to be launching again in 1 day and 2 hours. And so I want to bring you guys as much information about this as I can so that you can make an educated decision, give you a launch pad to do your own research, which is always what you should do, your own due diligence. I'm just a guy on the internet. And even if you watch our channel regularly, appreciate that, you still shouldn't just blindly trust the things I say, and you certainly shouldn't consider anything I say to be financial advice. If you appreciate what we're doing here on the channel, please hit the sub button, let us know, hit the like. You can always follow us on Twitter at RealHeroLabs or myself on Twitter at RandomTask555. Now, let's get into what is BitClout. BitClout is its own blockchain. It's a new type of social network that lets you speculate on people and posts with real money, and it's built from the ground up as its own custom blockchain. The architecture is similar to Bitcoin, only it can support complex social network data like posts, profiles, follows, speculation features, and all of that. And it is open sourced. So at the end of all of this, after we talk about what BitClout is and the current platform, you got to think other platforms can and likely will be built on this blockchain, and all of them will be powered by BitClout, the native currency. I gotta say, guys, and again, not to come off like a moon boy, but this is the first project in a long time, and I read a lot of white papers. I do a lot of investing and trading in the space, as you know, and this is one that just stands out to me is like, you always hear people say, is it the next Bitcoin? Is it the next Bitcoin? This is one, and I think this is why it basically crashed the second it came out, despite having no real evidence of it online. This is one, to me, as we get into it, you're gonna see why perhaps I think this thing has incredible potential. Probably the closest thing that I could say in the last 4 years that I've come across that I'm like, maybe that is the next Bitcoin. Holy shit. To buy it, you have to basically send in Bitcoin to a wallet. Then within the platform, you can click buy and you have those in the wallet. Once you have your BitClout, there is no withdrawal as of right now. Keep in mind, every single dollar you put into something like this, you should consider lost. If that makes you uncomfortable, you've invested too much, okay? This thing could disappear tomorrow and I'd still have my shirt on. Make sure you're in the same boat as that. So what is BitClout on the front end? It's basically resembles a Twitter, and each person, which they've pre-populated with 15,000 different profiles, has a coin, and that coin can be purchased only with BitClout currency. So this is an Elon Musk coin. There are 420 of them in circulation right now. Okay, the coin price has reached all the way up to 60,000 with its own individual market cap. So they've created an entire ecosystem of creator coins entirely powered by the native currency BitCloud. Now here's what's really interesting. See next to the names here, this little timer, it says this user's profile is reserved. Only the corresponding Twitter account can claim it. But there's no timer next to Naval and Chamath. Interesting. That means that they've already claimed their accounts, which brings me to the founders or the early backers of this project. And that's probably one of the most exciting parts of this and why so many people are so fired up about it. Because again, you need users, you need adoption. And so big, strong backers at the beginning of a project is always helpful. So let's go check out Chamath. Who is this guy? He's the founder of Sequoia Capital, and he's a billionaire. And he's already claimed his account. Rumor has it he's heavily involved with this project, along with this guy, Naval. Apparently, quite involved with this project, former CEO of AngelList, early investor in Uber, Foursquare, Twitter. This is the type of guy who gets in early to the right things. So the fact that he has already claimed his profile, as you can see here on BitClout Pulse. Now, this is sort of like a coin market cap. It is not associated directly with the project, but they are pulling this data using APIs from the blockchain itself. And so the fact that they've claimed their profiles is a really interesting indicator. And one of my sources confirmed directly with Sequoia that they have invested in this project. So that's another one to keep an eye on. If you look at the top VCs in the world, Sequoia is number 2. It's not bad company to have when you're trying to grow something novel like this. You can check out their wiki here. They've done all kinds of things and they have all kinds of investments. It's kind of mind-boggling. Over $1 trillion in valuations across all of their investments. Not a bad bit of backing to have. Rumor also has it that Scooter Braun is behind this project. Scooter Braun, obviously a big manager. He's got a ton underneath him from a management perspective. So, you know, a couple of big names here. And since this is all about monetizing social media presence and all that kind of stuff, you know, not a bad idea to really take a deep look at this one. I believe he's got Kanye under him and Justin Bieber and managing. I am not an expert on singers and managers and all that, but I have been told that Scooter Braun is involved and he's kind of a big deal. Ashton Kutcher's fund is also confirmed invested in this, which means we have another fairly big celebrity name who likes to invest in early tech startups, also involved in BitClout. So I guess, I mean, you get the point. There's some big names involved. And despite all that, if you search BitClout over here on the Crypto Panic news aggregator, you don't really find anything. So the fact that this is so under the radar with such big backing, you can see why those who do know about it and those who have been talking about it, you know, feel that there's a certain buzz about it. So when you look back at this timer, you think, man, what's going to happen in one day, in 1 hour? I just hope it doesn't crash again. I really want to get in there. I want to start messing around. I'd like to pick up some of my favorite coins. You know, I made a tweet last week that I picked up some BTC Jack Sparrow coin at a measly $396. And I think it's already trading up, I mean, it's already valued up at around $900. And I picked up some SBF Alameda. Those are the only two I could grab, you know, in my panic as it started opening up before it went down. And so, yeah, super excited about this. So we have some idea of what it is, some idea of who's backing it. And so let's get a little deeper into what's going on this white paper. First of all, the way it's designed is that you have to tweet to claim your profile. So only somebody with the official Twitter tag or, you know, check mark can really come in and claim their profile. And that's a good thing because those profiles will have a lot of money locked into them. Already with just an hour and a half live, the top profile, Elon Musk, go figure, already has $8.6 million locked into it. And at default, 10% of that is reserved for the creator. Now, if he goes and creates his account, he could change that down to 5, up to 50, what have you. But as of right now, if he joins this, he has $866,000 to claim. Now, he's the richest guy in the world, probably doesn't care about that amount, but people will. Content creators, they're out here, we're creating content. They're on the web, on Instagram, branding, all that stuff. So they are drawn to this, presumably, to unlock the value that will exist there before they even get there. But to join, they have to tweet out that they are joining. They have to tweet out their public key, basically saying, hey, look at me, I'm over here. I look at that and I just think, holy shit, this thing could really spread fast, because just like Bitcoin and mining, it's incentivizing the participants to get involved, and it's also kind of giving them a call out. It's like, hey, 15,000 of you already have money value locked in here. Come on over here. You can properly incentivize all the branding that you're doing, all the hard work you do, all that stuff. What are those creator coins useful for? Why would I go and buy one aside from just thinking it might go up in value? There's a whole bunch of different ideas here in the one pager, and to me, these are really just scratching the surface. There are endless possibilities, and it seems as though because this is open sourced and all that, I imagine that they will add other things and ideas, and this will iterate. But for now, let's give one example. Stakeholder meeting. A creator could make it so that only people who own a certain amount of their coin can participate in the comments section of their posts. So you get access to your favorite celebrity just by holding a certain amount of their coin. How about a new way to prioritize messages? Most creators get a torrent of spam in their inbox on social media. What if BitClout could make it so that only the people that earn a certain amount of their coin or hold a certain amount of their coin can ask them stuff? Or sponsored posts. Or right here it says you can bid on an inbox where anyone can bid to have somebody repost. So you could like pay Kim Kardashian, presumably, assuming she signs up, to retweet your fashion brand. How much value does that have? Would you buy her coin if it gave you access to that? You can submit a bid into her entry box, and if she retweets it, then she gets to keep your money. So it's sort of like an OTC, if you will, for services on the blockchain from a branding and marketing perspective. Another interesting use case, no doubt valuable to some. Premium content. How about you got to hold at least one of my coins to see my premium content? Now, this is an open sourced blockchain. There is speculation that perhaps other platforms will be built on it, all powered by BitClout, all with their own sets of creator coins, each of those requiring more BitClout to be locked into those profiles. So what kind of industries can you think of that enjoy premium content? Distributions and engagement. Creators can also use their coins to distribute scarce resources to the largest holders. For example, imagine if a famous celebrity offered to have lunch with whoever held the most of their coin at a particular date. What a race to buy the coin up, driving further value to the account of the creator. As you can see, this stuff really feeds on itself. This section gets into some speculation on how this could evolve and what dynamics could come into play here. I don't want to go through this verbatim. I'm going to link this in the description so you guys can read this and dive into it yourself. We're going to be discussing it on DeltaFi tomorrow at a later time, 4 p.m. We don't want to go live right as this goes live, but we will be live shortly after, and we will discuss this with the full panel. Now, the creator coin supply curve is here, and I've actually got it visualized on a spreadsheet right here. So, you know, if you're wondering, well, how do these things get priced? It's a bonding curve. So the more that are purchased, the further price drives up, and the more USD is locked into the profile, and the larger the market cap for that coin. And we can only see the top 50 on BitClout Pulse, which is the only place right now to see any of this as far as I know. And as you can see, some of the top coins, I mean, let's go to the bottom. We've got Cristiano Ronaldo down here at 2190. That's $187,000 market cap with a value in profile of 62,000. So there are 83 Cristiano Ronaldo coins out there, and the more that are minted, the higher the price will be, the more locked in value. And all of that equals BitClout locked in to the contract. So there's an incredible amount of like TVL potential here. Not to mention that new people that join the platform can create their own profiles. So that pre-populated group of 15,000 is just the baseline. Myself and many of others have already created their own. And so at some point, you will see more and more creators coming on here creating profiles, which equals more creator coins being minted, which equals more BitClout being locked up. So let's talk about liquidity. Right now, when you go on the platform, you cannot withdraw. So any Bitcoin you send in, you can use it to buy BitClout, or it just sits there in your Bitcoin wallet, which you can seed into a Bitcoin node and withdraw. So technically, you can do that. But once you buy the BitClout, you can either transfer it to someone or you can buy creator coins with it once they go live. You cannot withdraw as of right now. However, I've got from 2 sources independently naming the same 2 prominent exchanges. I won't name them here, but I can tell you they are bigger than KuCoin. We'll say that. So those are 2 listings I would expect to see sometime in the near future, if not another. This one kind of feels like IOTA. You know, not anything about the project, but the way that in spring 2017, IOTA just kind of like came out of nowhere, had a multi-billion-dollar market cap, and was listed on a bunch of big exchanges, and I had never heard of it, and it was suddenly this big thing. I feel like that could happen with this one. Again, that's not a prediction as much as just like a hunch, but we could see that. As of right now, based on the BitClout price, let's look at what the market cap is. I've got the bonding curve for BitClout here. So at the current price of just about 111, which we can see here on BitClout Pulse, 109. The current price, that would put us around a $500 million market cap. So it's fairly large. And yes, somebody bought it at 80 cents. Somebody else bought it at 160, 320, 640, all the way up. These prices were filled. By who, you ask? I have no idea. Okay, my early purchases were just under $100. And, you know, I'd imagine if I created this project and I wanted it to be successful, the first people I would call to give access to make sure that they have a large position are people like Sequoia, people like Chamath, people like Naval. Now, you can hate on that all you want. You can say, that's not fair. We should all have a fair chance. But that's just not how things work. I got to ask myself, do I see upside? And really, is this even the play that I find interesting? Not really. My forecast for the next month or two, if this launch is continued success, I expect BitClout value would continue to rise as more people buy into the platform and then lock that BitClout into these new creator coins. So what you have is sort of a triple threat, in my opinion. You have creator coins going up in value versus BitClout. You have BitClout going up in value versus Bitcoin, which is what it's traded against primarily right now. And then presumably, hopefully, we have Bitcoin going up against US dollars. This is a really nice thread from March 14th by somebody named Veronica Saran, who says she was doing some early stress testing on the network, and she has shared a whole bunch of information here that you can add to your research. So I will share this in the description as well. Now, this is the collection address that is on the back end of the blockchain. So when you send in Bitcoin to presumably to buy BitClout, this is the address that it gets collected in, and I will share that in the description as well. So for those more savvy, perhaps you can go and spot some big wallets and decide for yourself who's invested. They have collected approximately 138 million. That's 2,500 Bitcoin that are sitting in there right now. And there was even more in there before, presumably some of that taken out perhaps to fund early parts of it. This address history goes back as far as October. But as far as I know, the portal to purchase this password protected portal was open for about 4 or 5 weeks, which is likely when this bonding curve started. That is just about everything I know about BitClout. Now, we've got to think about sort of the upside potential. What would happen if all of these large accounts are incentivized to sign up, and to sign up, they have to tell everyone else that they signed up and promote it, and they get in here and you have smaller creators. I mean, the possibilities of how this could all evolve and the market that it will create are kind of mind-bending. I can imagine that there will be a margin iteration at some point where you can actually short somebody if, you know, you think they're making bad decisions in their lives, or if they just dropped, you know, a nasty word at a press conference or something. They do something that just hurts their rep. Could you buy up somebody's coin that's a very small account, and then you're a large account, and then go and retweet them and moon their account while meanwhile making all kinds of money? Will there just become this sort of circular promotion model where people are just incentivized to promote their friends? You can invest in, you know, a young new entrepreneur that you believe in and you think is going to become famous. You know, 10 years ago, would you have liked to invest in Elon Musk, saying, this guy's smart, I don't know what he's going to do, but I bet he's going to do something cool? And this kind of opens up this entire world of possibilities. So I'm pretty fired up, as you can imagine. I'm here to share as much as I can with you guys. I'll be in the trading pit, which is also found in the description if you guys ever want to chat about this, or in the BitCloud community chat. I'm along for the ride, same as you guys. Not here to give financial advice. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but I am pretty excited. I'd say in the last couple of years, this one has the biggest potential that I've ever seen. And so I'm going to just leave it at that today, guys. Whatever you do between now and the launch tomorrow, remember, always play from a position of strength. Take care.